Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this very special event. Today, we will witness students cross our stage and become graduates of BCIT. This is also a day for you, families, friends, those of you who have joined us today to celebrate the accomplishments. Now, my name is Alan Waterman. I'm a retired faculty member of the Broadcast and Online Journalism program, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies today. I would first like to acknowledge that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. That's very important. I'd also like to acknowledge our interpreters joining me on stage today. We have Monica and Carly. Some housekeeping items before we start. We do have a professional photographer here with us today from Artona. 2 professional photos will be taken of each graduate immediately after they cross the stage. Now, image previews, along with optional order information, will be emailed to the students within a week. The photographers will also be available for individual and family portraits following the ceremony. Follow the signs to the photo studio located on the main floor in room 2620. We'll get the information out to you once again later on. Of course, we're also live streaming the ceremony right now via bcit.ca. That means there's no need to capture your own video of the ceremony. The link to the professional video will remain on our website for several months. You can view it again and again and again, download it to keep, send the link to relatives around the world, so no need to hold your cell phones up during the ceremony. We got you covered on this. We want to make this an enjoyable occasion for everyone, so once you've texted or tweeted or whatever social media platform you like to use, please ensure your devices are turned to silent during the ceremony. Our processions are about to enter the auditorium with our piper, Vern Kennedy, who will lead our faculty and platform party, followed by our soon-to-be graduates. I'd like to ask everyone to please rise right now to greet our processions. Our processions begin with our faculty and platform party. All right, everyone. Now, please welcome our graduates. And you thought you all had to be so solemn and quiet throughout this. You can please be seated. I'm now very honored to welcome Elder Carleen Thomas from the Tsleil-Waututh Nation. We'll bring a welcome from the Coast Salish people. She'll also be joined by the Indigenous women's ensemble, Ma Girl, who will be performing a traditional welcome and celebration song. Elder Carleen.
Asiem ni siaya ai tenishkwaloan kwitsi kwitsnala iwi anta ansachlot anta manas antalia I kwetslahot siam anta imeth kwet ansachlot I kwetslahot siam I kwets kostemotoch I kwet halat hai sepka amit sep kwitwilam I slewata tamath I chamathkuyam I subkohotmish. So what I said to you in the very teeny tiny bit of my language that I know called Hakamitam or downriver Hakamelam, I said, my respected ones, the feelings I have inside are really good. I'm really happy to see you and to be here with you today. And in our cultural ways, I introduced myself to you with my ancestral name. I carry the name Ansachalot. In our cultural ways, I also shared a little bit of my family tree. We do that for many reasons, but the most important is that it informs you, the audience, that I know who I am. I know where I come from. And as a Wilmukta, as a grandmother, I carry that responsibility a lot more dearly these days. I have 5 beautiful grandkids, plus a couple of spares. I shouldn't call them spares. They chose me to be their granny. In our cultural ways, I also shared a little bit of my family tree. I said that already. My parents are Deanna George and the late hereditary chief Ernie George, or Iggy as his friends called him. Oh, we have some folks out there that know my dad. And in our cultural ways, I also talked about my grandparents. Both sets of my grandparents have passed on. My paternal grandparents are the late hereditary chief John L. George and Lillian George, or Dolly as her friends called her. For a real long time, I didn't acknowledge my mother's parents. And I guess when I was coming closer to being a grandmother myself, it just made me stop and wonder. And what I realized was that I was a very colonized person. You know, back in the day when they were building Canada, they took all the Indians and stuck us on a reserve, drew borders around those reserves, stuck labels on the reserves, sent our children away to become colonized. What they did was they effectively divided us. They divided our families, they divided us, and they set us against each other. We were then in competition for lands and resources. So in an effort to decolonize myself and reconcile my relationship with my sister nations of the Musqueam and the Squamish, it's with great honor and respect to acknowledge my grandfather comes from the Squamish Nation, and his name was Stanislaus Joseph. My grandmother comes from the Snuneymuxw, the Nanaimo people, and her father came from the Kincolith people up in the Niscut Valley, and her name was Caroline. And raising my hands here, I'm sure you're all familiar, this is a gesture of welcome. Hi, Sepka, thanking all of you. Amit Sepwitwil, and welcome you here to the homelands and waters of the Tsleil-Waututh people, the Musqueam people, and the Squamish people. Wishing the grads all the best in the new chapter of your journey, and I wish you all a great day. Oh, and another thing, a teaching we have when we gather in our longhouses would be, if you see the empty seats, they're not empty. Your ancestors are there. So carry that through your day. You are connected. Hi, Tsepka. Thank you.
name is Kelsey Canatan-Wavy. I'm an off-reserve member of Tatasqueyak Cree Nation. My dad is Swampy Cree, Muskegee-Ninewak, and my mom's a white lady from Minnesota. And here we are today on the unceded Coast Salish territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people, and celebrating all of you guys. Congratulations.
Good morning and congratulations. Segolius Ganagoa. My name is Sherry Miracle. I am Mohawk from Six Nations, Ontario. And Nyawa, thank you for your words and thank you for the opening. Nyawa. Very proud of you guys. We're going to sing you a gathering song, but first my friend Tracy is going to introduce herself as well.
Hi, I'm Tracy Weitzel. I'm of European descent on my father's side, and my mother is Anishinaabe from Fishing Lake, Saskatchewan. And congratulations to all the grads.
We're really happy to be here. This song is a song that I learned from my good friend Janie Lazon. It is an Anishinaabe song. Here we go.
Thank you, Carlene. Thank you, Ma Girl. Great words and song that comes a day after Indigenous Peoples Day, but perhaps words and song that we should keep all year round, not just yesterday or today. So thank you again. And now please rise and join in the singing of our national anthem, led by Elizabeth Irving.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you. You may be seated. I'd now like to introduce our platform party. I'll ask them to stand when I call their names and to please remain standing. And for yourselves, please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced, or we'll be here all day. First up, Nolan Nardwald, Board Director of the Alumni Association. Eric Fry, Chair of the Education Council and Associate Dean, Agile and Work Integrated Learning. Kathy Shedlicek, Dean, Academic Planning and Quality Assurance. James Rout, Associate Vice President, Education Support and Innovation. Qasim Hababila, Interim Associate Vice President, Academic Operations. Jennifer Figner, Interim Vice President, Academic. Dan Reeder, our Chair of the Board of Governors for BCIT. Chris O'Reilly, Keynote, President and CEO of BC Hydro. Paul McCullough, our Interim President of BCIT. And Kenton Lowe, the Dean of the School of Business and Media. Carrying on, Andrea Friska, Dean, School of Energy. Lawrence Gu, Dean, BCIT International. Jan Smith, Registrar. Ashif Jivjay, Interim Associate Dean, Broadcast and Media Communications. I got that wrong, Ashif. It's Asif Jivraj. There we go. How many years have we worked together? Sonia Boskovich, Associate Dean, Industrial and Mechanical Trades. Brent Dunn, Associate Dean, Mechanical Engineering. Paul Morrison, Interim Associate Dean, Chemical, Digital Communications and Machinist. Matthew Pedley, Associate Dean, Electrical Engineering and Technology. Everyone now, please welcome your platform party. You can be seated, thank you. I now call upon Paul McCullough, the Interim President at BCIT, for his opening remarks. Paul.
Good morning. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all to this summer convocation, and I am particularly pleased to welcome the students, family, and friends on this special day. BCIT is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, in particular the Musqueam, the Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. We have been educating and inspiring students on these traditional lands for over half a century, and I would ask you to take a moment to reflect and acknowledge on the true privilege we have to live and work on these lands, and to give careful thought to the words that Elder Carleen Thomas said just a short while ago. Truly inspiring. Today, we're here to celebrate the remarkable achievements of our graduating students. It's hard to believe that 3 years ago, our lives were thrown into turmoil by a global pandemic. For many of you here today, your learning was impacted and tested in unforeseen ways. You have shown incredible perseverance and commitment throughout this time, which will undoubtedly serve you well as you embark on the next phase of your journey through life. Your achievements are an inspiration to all of us, and I'm delighted that we are here with you as you receive your well-earned BCIT credential, a momentous accomplishment. I know I speak for our faculty and staff when I say we hope your time at BCIT has been meaningful and a rewarding experience. Your success is our success. All of us here today are very proud of everything you have accomplished, and we are truly thrilled to cheer you on as you cross this stage. So please, graduates, I ask you to stand. Take a look around at the folks in the audience who have supported you on this journey. Family, friends, faculty. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause to everyone who has been instrumental in helping you achieve your goals today. You may sit. Thanks must also go to the faculty and staff here at BCIT for going above and beyond for our students. You have made a profound impact on each one of our graduates. Thank you for guiding them in their journey of discovery and learning at BCIT. Graduates, when you cross this stage, you will officially become part of the BCIT alumni community. I hope you take advantage of the many events and opportunities available to you as a proud BCIT alum. Finally, I want to ensure that you are all able to celebrate your moment as you walk across the stage and receive your credentials. So I'd like to ask Love Vashista to please stand. He doesn't know I'm going to do this. Love will be the last student to cross our stage today. My request to all the graduates is please return to your seats after receiving your credential and remain present to celebrate Love's moment just as everyone has celebrated yours. Thank you, Love. You can be seated. Today is a day to celebrate, so congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Paul. I'd now like to call upon Dan Reeder, who's our chair of the BCIT Board of Governors, who will bring greetings on behalf of the board and introduce our keynote speaker. Dan?
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here today to congratulate our graduates, to commend our faculty and staff on behalf of the BCIT Board of Governors. To all the students in the audience, well done. Your dedication and commitment to your education have been extraordinary. The time and hard work you've invested here will open many doors. Graduates of BCIT remain some of the most sought-after talent in British Columbia, Canada, and around the world. Our alumni are known for their drive, their skills, and their ingenuity. Whichever path you embark on, you will make a difference. You are surrounded by family and friends who are here to celebrate all that you've accomplished. You've also earned the confidence of your instructors. They know just what it took to get here today. Each of you deserves to be incredibly proud. Your time at BCIT has come to an end, but your achievements won't stop here. I challenge you to build on everything you've learned and accomplished during your time at BCIT. Be ambitious and never stop innovating within your future workplace and community. On behalf of the BCIT Board of Governors, our warmest congratulations to all of you on your academic and personal achievements. Thank you. I also have the pleasure today of introducing our keynote speaker, Chris O'Reilly, President and CEO, BC Hydro. BC Hydro is BC's largest crown corporation and the 4th largest company in the province as ranked by annual revenue. Powered by water, BC Hydro safely provides reliable, affordable, clean electricity to its 4 million customers. During his 32 career with BC Hydro, Chris has made significant contributions in leading operations, overseeing capital projects, and managing risk for BC Hydro's trading subsidiary, PowerX, as a professional engineer in electrical engineering. Please join me in welcoming Chris O'Reilly.
Well, thank you so much, Dan, for that kind introduction and a very warm welcome here. I want to start by recognizing that we're all gathered on the traditional and unceded territory of the Tsleil-Waututh, the Musqueam, and Squamish First Nations. We are at BC Hydro, we cherish and value the relationship we have with all 3 nations, and we are privileged to be on the path of reconciliation. I'm just so honored to be here on your special day. It's a great opportunity for me to be part of the celebration of your achievements as part of the School of Energy and the Broadcast and Media Communications program from the School of Business and Media at BCIT. I feel like I'm looking out at the future here. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing to see. You are graduating at an exciting time. We are in the midst of a 1 in a 100-year energy transition as we move from a society dominated by the use of fossil fuels to one powered by clean electricity and other low-carbon energy sources. About 70% of the total energy we use here in British Columbia still comes from greenhouse gas-emitting fossil fuels, and that needs to change. We know from history that such transitions can be wrenching and distressing. Change will bring both challenges and opportunities. Companies and institutions will have to adapt, and some will fall by the wayside. But new ones will take their place, including Indigenous companies and partnerships that need to be part of the energy transition. And there will be many jobs in the future that don't even exist today. We have many grads from BCIT working at BC Hydro. And many of you in this room will join our industry in the energy sector to help create and implement solutions for this energy transition. And while each of you will follow your own path, I know one thing is certain. There is no end to education, and your whole life will be a process of learning. My father taught me about the transformational power of education. And he started out with little formal education and experienced the headwinds that caused for him. So it was a significant milestone in my life and for my family when I graduated with an engineering degree from UBC. And even though I finally had that piece of paper with my name on it, that paper I'd worked so hard to achieve, I can admit now that I really didn't know what I was going to do with my life. At that time, being the president and CEO of BC Hydro was certainly not on my list of career objectives, and I can tell you that I had no master plan to get from there to here. But life took me on a winding path, as it will for you, and there were opportunities and challenges along the way that made me who I am today. So what wisdom can I pass on to a group of graduates who are ready to take on the world? First, it's important to find your fit. And by that, I mean finding a place that aligns with your values and allows you to work with people that you respect. I've worked my entire career at BC Hydro, a single company, and I recognize that's a path that is not for everyone, and it's one that's becoming less common these days. And I can tell you it wasn't that common even when I was starting out. But the reason I stayed for so long is because I was working in a supportive environment that aligned with my values and working with people who shared those same values. The second piece of advice would be willing to try different things and add diversity to your path in life. Don't limit yourself to a single defined route. And I don't mean jumping around, because there's tremendous value in spending time in a role, in a job, in a vocation, and getting really good at it. But be open to experiencing a different experience, even if you're not actively looking for the next move. Every month or so, I join our onboarding sessions for new employees at BC Hydro, and I always encourage them to find ways to say yes when opportunities come up, and whether those opportunities are large or small. And sometimes we think about opportunities as something for us. Opportunities are equally chances to help someone else or others. And third, know that those opportunities will come. Many times, doors open because of relationships you make along the way. And I'm a big believer in mentors, and I encourage you to seek them out. At a key point in my career, one of my mentors suggested I took what appeared to be a downward move in the organization in order to build out my own leadership skills. It was a great learning moment for me, because I learned that growth isn't always about climbing up a ladder. It's about developing and growing as a person and a leader. I also want to acknowledge there's always some luck involved in a successful career, in a successful life. And there's being in the right place at the right time, and we know that can make a difference. At the same time, small things matter too, and they matter a lot. And they can help you create luck, create the circumstances for you to be successful. Things like being positive, demonstrating success for your fellow human beings and fellow employees, returning calls, and showing up on time. All those things matter. And importantly, you need to be transparent when you make a mistake. We all make mistakes. If you make a mistake, own up to it. You have to learn from them in order to be better. I want to congratulate all of the graduates here today on the tremendous success and hard work you've experienced to date. And I wish you continued success in whatever path you choose to take as you move forward with your educational journey through life. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Your words are most appreciated. Now, we come to that exciting moment when our grads are about to cross the stage. Here's the process we will be following. Graduates will leave the auditorium and return through the side door on my left, your right. They'll hand me their name card, and I will read their name. I might ask some of you for a little clarification on your name, so don't be afraid to whisper it in my ear or louder. Then our graduates will cross the stage. We'll ask our graduates to please still refrain from shaking hands. We are where we are these days. And instead, you can smile and nod and exchange a warm bit of greeting, congratulations with your faculty members as you cross the stage. Graduates crossing the stage will meet President Paul McCullough and faculty members who wish to come forward to join Paul in acknowledging their students they've instructed and supported over their time here. Graduates will then exit the theater via stage right, which is your left, and be directed to a special area where our professional photographers will be waiting to take a photo of them with their credential. Graduates will be then directed back to their seat. I like to think of this area as being from The Wizard of Oz. You go behind the curtain to see how it all works, and then you come back to your seat. Okay. So as Paul mentioned earlier, we want to ensure that all of our graduates, from the first to cross the stage to our final graduate, are equally and respectfully acknowledged as they receive their credential. So we ask graduates to please return to their seats, and along with all of our guests, continue to be present and recognize your fellow graduates in their important moment. Now, Paul, I'll ask you to rise, and the faculty members who wish to join Paul down front, please take your places to congratulate our graduates. Okay, you ready? Here we go. First up, this is the School of Business and Media. The dean is Kenton Lowe, and this is for a diploma in broadcast and online journalism. This is Astrid Abgani. Ryan Anthony Bailey with distinction. I should note both of those first students are with distinction, and when I say distinction, that means they have received top marks in their program. Krista Kayu Chung with distinction. This is Jasper Singh Chu. Kiara Lee Collins with distinction. Kyle Collis. Amelia Francis Fincham. Mackenzie James Fleet. Victor Gucci with distinction. Yusuf Habib. Maham Hashmi. Shivani Joshi with distinction. Pamber Singh Kang. Chattis Leo with distinction. Riley Jackson Lands. Angelina Marcia Mintz with distinction. Eric David Navarro. Jacob New with distinction. Seamus Patrick Burton Page. Astapande with distinction. Dennis Sonalu. Evan Joseph Smith. Evan Tate. John Rafan Zabonul with distinction. Moving on, this is the Diploma for Radio Arts and Entertainment. Leading the pack is Timothy Asfar with distinction. Dylan Bay with distinction. Akisha Chal. Nicole Koppelmans. Logan Isaiah Flint with distinction. Fiona Grace Germain. Wei Ti Su. Cassie Jagpal. Dominika Kwiatkowska. Cho Yi Lam with distinction. Jevin Lefebvre with distinction. McKay McGilvery with distinction. Ryan Ronald Plessy with distinction. I should correct that. Ryan Plessel with distinction. Maria Jose Rivadeneira Herrera with distinction. Lorena Moreno Sogestado with distinction. Closer. Joshua Sanchez with distinction. Harikrishnan Suresh. Jefferson Svetliko. Emil Richard Tracy with distinction. Gigi Wishidit. Ian Wilson. And thank you for providing your pronouncer on that, Ian. Now moving on to the Diploma in Television and Video Production. First up, Paula Louise Cruz Amario with distinction. Kellen Bjornsson with distinction. Bradley Bosch with distinction. Damon James Bretti with distinction. Colleen Margaret Bridgman with distinction. Elton Calipes with distinction. Miguel Chetar Mohammed with distinction. Amandeep Shokar with distinction. Kai Mayuchi Crooks with distinction. Javier Darius with distinction. Joshua Paul DeBook. David Robert Chirza. Beatrice Eckenberg Fernandez Trevisani with distinction. Caleb Simon Fabik. Sydney Christina Gatzo. Irina Husha with distinction. Wei Chin Hu. Thomas Ray Humble with distinction. Jung Ho Kim with distinction. Max Kotlev. Jordan Lee with distinction. Matthew Ma with distinction. Rahil Mansouri with distinction. Just have to make room for more cards here. Just a sec. Jovan Matu with distinction. Luke Darren Morey with distinction. Brendan Chase Mikachuk. Matthew Bradley Naskeville with distinction. Sewan Oh with distinction. Joy Pagoy with distinction. Joshua Hawk Pollock Schmidt with distinction. Jay Rizika with distinction. Syed Kazaima Shah with distinction. Andrea Paula Torres with distinction. Yustani Tran with distinction. Aiden Allen Van Hatten with distinction. Now we're moving on to the School of Energy with Dean Dr. Andrea Friska, and Associate Dean Mechanical Engineering Brent Dunn, and Associate Dean Interim Chemical Digital Communications and Machinist Paul Morrison, as well as Associate Dean Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology Matthew Pedley. Coming up now is the Diploma for Chemical and Environmental Engineering, and first up is Wing Chi Chang. Adam Mitchell Clayton. Crystal Fa'alango with distinction. Jaspreet Kaur Griwal. Hee-Jin Kim. Maria Naro Madrigal with distinction. Gekwa Nguyen. Francis School with distinction. Timothy Vasilyev with distinction. And we're moving on to the Diploma in Computer Information Systems Administration. And this is Maxim Adzik. Stephen Andrada. Mark Borja. Ethan Joseph Smith Bolcock. Ritesh Chaudhary. Matthew Chow. Peter Chui. Kevin Chung. Evan Fragoso. Notice he didn't say a word to me. He's hoping I get this right. Jonathan Guevara Rosales. En Woo Kim. Mason Brishna. Alexander Kwan. Michaela Fei Lee. Cameron Ryan Lee. Matthew Lin. Dana Luciak. Daniel Alexander Lum. Li Li. Vishal Nair. Hui Chong No. Nikita Poganin. Abdul Aziz Siraj. Anand Singh. Jonathan Swee. Van Struth with distinction. Next, we're on to the Diploma in Telecommunications Systems Technician with the Radio Systems option. And first up is Tyler Douglas Fasadi. Yuan Lin. Austin Lee Oppen. Troy William Rostrom. Simon Sin. Don't give me your diploma. How do you? Kishore Kumar. Moving on to the Diploma in Telecommunications Systems Technician Telecommunications Network option, this is Tyson Chidjay. Rajmil Rahil Jeet. Isaac Abdul Khalil. Gurpreet Singh Mahal. Muskan. Aaron Randawa. Muhammad Raufi. Rajan Vara with distinction. Shiri Shang. Now we're moving on to the Bing Electrical Engineering. And this, coming up first, is Michael Brandon Andrews with the distinction in this cooperative education program. Cameron James Bate with distinction. Muhammad Bhatti with distinction. Kai Shao with distinction. Andrew Chen with distinction. Jacob Doyle. Connor Seamus Finlayson with distinction. Clinton Gadet with distinction. Laurel Kinahan with distinction. Thomas Kuzma with distinction. What would you like it to be, Kuzma? I will correct that. Thomas Kuzma with distinction. Justin Liu. Evan Ernest Malosh. James Patrick Nichols with distinction. Sam Daniel Boson Rabano with distinction. Michael Johannes Smithman. Bhupinder Singh Thind. Must be an engineer. And this is Ramon Vincenzo with distinction. He'll be opening his engineering dance school shortly after the ceremony. Aman Rubichet with distinction. Jordan Matthew Wong with distinction. Harrison Abram Ewan with distinction. Moving on to the BTech in electronics, this is Jacob Berghofer. John Jacob Guzon. Cameron Thomas Houston. Deepak Marahata. Now, moving into the Diploma of Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology, the Automation and Instrumentation option. And this is Arisa Cook. Ethan Samuel Costley. Riya Gautam. Raja Hamza Irfan. Matthew Carl Koster with distinction. Vladimir Kovson. Huang Kang Li. Tran Quoc Bo Nguyen. Do you want the junior? Salvador Junior Agarea Padre. Jun Hoon Park with distinction. I hope he's wearing pants. Okay. Muhammad Islam Talakdar with, yes, there you go, got it. Long Vuong with distinction. Samuel Wong with distinction. Sha Wei Young with distinction. Now moving on to the Diploma in Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology. Yeah, this is an exciting one. Electrical Power and Industrial Control. And this is Rami Aluthmani. Not Hong Do, with distinction. Sang Chae Wang. Umar Hassan. Nick Hosseiniatar. Lovepreet Kaur with distinction. Philip Adam Kroll. Cole Thomas Leaners with distinction. Brandon Nam Lu with distinction. Aaron Joseph Nasino. Nokton Yuen with distinction. Sarhat Ozan with distinction. Kaneses Pantong. Ranvir Rai. Kartik Sharma with distinction. Timothy Tagaka. Jason Wang. Now moving to the Diploma Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology, Wireless Comms and Computer Networks. And this is Henry Marcel Bertolozzi. Matthew Angelo Casalang. Ilwang Choi with distinction. Jessa Marie Credo Falorina with distinction. Carlos Callens with distinction. Ian Christopher Mojares with distinction. Timothy Mock. Mira Rafith. Yes? I've got to get it right. Ishmam Marmoon. Emmanuel Tran. Now we're moving into the Diploma for Industrial Network cybersecurity. You should go work for the feds. And this is Nikolai Garcia Velez. Just Chahani? Okay. Melissa Chahani. Melina Rahmani. Now for the Diploma in Industrial Instrumentation and Controls Technician, we have Seungmin Chung. Ted Gabriel Cozon Cruz. Satar Sharif. Gurpreet Singh. Now for the Diploma in Power and Process Engineering, we have Sheldon Michael Irving. Right across. And in the certificate Millwright Foundation, Dowell Salvador with distinction. And with a certificate in Power Engineering General, we have Conric Fernandez Agas. Krishal Damali. Samar Muhammad. Darwin Munoz. Now for the Bachelor of Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, we have Munir Hassan Amasyabi. Nathaniel Carl Binner. Nicola Bebek. Genevieve Brower with distinction. Dansil Danakare with distinction. Kunwa Rahapar Singh Dingja. Colin Dylan Eisler. Wesley John Ellingson. John Ryan Falongo. Shahrazad Gilani. Grant Goff with distinction. Ethan Matthew Ha with distinction. Calder Aiden Slater Jansen with distinction. Michael Jaworski with distinction. Jacob Lee Henry Kalina with distinction. Akash Kapoor with distinction. Louis Karpiak with distinction. Mika Klosterhoff with distinction. Huang Ji-min Lee. Taylor Joseph Lee. Tommy Leung. Xiao Fei Long. Lubish Mitchelsik. Dukman Nguyen. Lawrence Rachi with distinction. Aiden Salisbury. Alex Jiwan Sung. Sanatan Chapati. Now to the Diploma in Mechanical Engineering Technology, Mechanical Design option. This is Amlik Singh. Frederick Earl Arlan. Sue Christensen with distinction. Ajay Singh Callan. Inder Kunkun. Matthew Ma. Cannon Reed Maxwell. Rafael Oliveira Goes de Aguiar. Adrian Ong Peralta. Arman Singh Sidhu. Kiana Skelly. Now moving on to the Diploma in Mechanical Engineering Technology, Mechanical Manufacturing option is Ali Barak. Anthony David Karindang. Roham Eskandari. Sebastian Ritzko. Saint Savio Leandro Rosendo da Silva with distinction. Rohit Kumar. Anton Zelenin. Now, on the Diploma for Mechanical Engineering Technology Mechanical Systems option, this is Mitchell James Downey. Tony Makantangi. Simon Mascara. Mohitdeep Singh. Matthew Nogler Klassen. Hua Dang Nguyen with distinction. It's like a mime show every now and then here. Andres Stepan with distinction. Tuk Min Vu. Berkay Yoromas. Now for the diploma in mechatronics and robotics. I don't think this one was even around 10 years ago. There we go. This is Eugene Bardnichuk. Ewan Cameron. Wai Ming Edwin Chung. Alejandro Fajardo with distinction. Maxine Haberl with distinction. Andrew Glenn Johnson. Yinghee Kang with distinction. Jordan Klingbeil with distinction. Hojun Kevin Lee. Hong Min Nguyen. Logan Ruth. And here he is. You know him, you love him. This is Love Bashith. So as our graduates return from their professional photos backstage, I'd like to remind you that image previews along with optional order information will be emailed to graduates within the next week. So parents, make sure they still share their emails with you. Yeah. The next thing up for us is something new at BCIT. This is a portion of the ceremony to honor faculty emeritus, something that we have never done. This is the very first ceremony we have for this at BCIT. You may hear of it being common at other post-secondary institutions. Well, we're very proud to bring this along in our own tradition now. So with that, would Eric Fry, the Education Council representative, please come forward for his remarks and to announce this year's faculty emeritus.
Thank you and good morning. Throughout the year, it is the role of the Education Council to advise the BCIT Board of Governors on a variety of educational policies, priorities, and programs. We review new programs and major changes to existing programs, as well as set criteria for awards, academic standings, and exams. Through this, we are involved in many aspects of the programs you've completed in order to earn your certificates, diplomas, and degrees here today. Before going further, I'd like to recognize our faculty emeritus for the year 2023. BCIT grants faculty emeritus status to former faculty employees who have shown significant accomplishments and contributions to industry and academia. This year's newly designated faculty emeritus are Dr. Hassan Farenge from the School of Energy, who is joining us here today. Dr. Maureen Conley from the School of Construction and Environment. Russell Oy from the School of Transportation. And Jean Scribner from the School of Computing and Academic Studies. So, as mentioned, we're joined here by one of our representatives, Dr. Hassan Farenge. Please stand again, Dr. Farenge. And please remain standing as I have some words to share with you about your experience here. Retired faculty from the School of Energy, I'm honored to recognize him as a faculty emeritus for his excellence in his practice profession and his continued commitment to the Institute. Dr. Hassan Farenge is known for his pioneering work in the design and development of Canada's first smart grid on BCIT's campus in BC from 2007 onwards. As an industry and academic veteran with extensive interdisciplinary research and training experience in smart grids, renewable energies, electric utility systems, and energy management systems, he has trained hundreds of graduate students, published numerous peer-reviewed research papers, and has his patents, papers, and textbooks frequently cited by researchers in smart grid. After years of service, Dr. Farenge retired from his academic and research appointment at BCIT in September 2022. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Hassan Farenge in a round of applause. And now we're turning to our graduates. As Education Council representative, I get the honor of crossing the finish line with you. Graduates, will you please stand? And now please flip the tassel on your cap to the left side, signifying that you are now officially a graduate of BCIT. Everyone, the class of 2023.
Only two in the air? Wow. So I'd now like to welcome Nolan Nodwell, our board director of the BCIT Alumni Association, of which you are all now members, and which you may now be seated. So Nolan, if you can join us on stage, Nolan will introduce your valedictorian.
Congratulations, graduates, and welcome to the BCIT Alumni Association. You are now part of over 200,000 successful graduates across the world. We wish you the very best on your professional journey, and as you look forward towards the future, I'd also like to invite you to stay in touch with us and the rest of the BCIT alumni community. Through the Alumni Association, you can gain access to mentorship opportunities with current students. You can also network professionally with graduates from your program who've maybe been in the industry for 10 years. You can also find exclusive perks and discounts on the BCIT Alumni Perks app, which you can download on the App Store or the Google Play Store. Now, it is with tremendous pride and delight that I present to you today's valedictorian. Emanating from an electrifying background as a radio host and sports announcer, Ian Wilson has now topped off his journey with a shiny Radio Arts and Entertainments diploma. Fueled by an unyielding love for his community and a burning passion to harness the power of his voice, you are about to be swept off of your feet by his riveting address. Please welcome Ian Wilson.
That might be one of the single greatest introductions that I've ever heard, and I do that for a living. So, so thank you very much, Nolan, for that. I very much appreciate you. Good morning, fellow graduates, teachers, dignitaries, families, and friends. As I stand before you, I can't help but see so many incredible individuals celebrating the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. Each of you have gone through entirely unique journeys to get to where you are today and have worked so incredibly hard to earn your credentials. It is an honor and privilege to be your valedictorian. For those of you who don't know me, I absolutely love public speaking. Go figure. And if I'm not in the classroom, you can probably find me working one of about 7 different jobs that I have, volunteering or spending time with my wonderful friends and family. And during my time taking classes here, I had the honor of commuting all the way from Agassiz. Oh yeah, I hear a couple of groans out there, a couple of cheers, but it's okay. If you don't know where that is, you're not alone. It's right next to Harrison Hot Springs. And if you think I'm crazy for commuting that far just to get to school, you're probably right. That aforementioned busy schedule and the commute are just my story of showing my dedication to my educational pursuits, but it's only one of hundreds of stories being represented here today. Whether it's pushing through the deadlines, managing course load, commuting, health issues, family issues, or simply just getting up on the mornings of days where life in general is just too much, your perseverance is valid. Big or small, each and every single graduate here today defeated adversity and rose to the occasion because they believed in themselves and one another. If you listen closely, you can hear the pen strokes signing the autograph on this chapter of life, drawing to its conclusion, but that chapter still has a few celebratory moments left yet. To quote Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda, oh, you already know, you know where this one's going. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. Thank you to the people that guided us, the people who supported us, those we laughed with and those we cried with, and most importantly, thank you to ourselves for never giving up along the way. I wish to finish this address the same way that I finish all my hockey and radio broadcasts. A simple ask, really, to each and every person here. Hey, do me a favor and be the best version of yourself. Good luck in whatever journey life holds for you next, and I hope we talk again soon.
Thank you, Ian. Okay, now it's time to celebrate with our graduates. Before you go, a couple of reminders. Leader Frames is available just outside the hall here if you'd like to have your credential professionally framed today. So don't roll it up and fold it into your pocket. Our toner will be available for studio portraits of graduates and their families located on the main floor in room 2620. I also, once again, remind you that a video of the ceremony will be available online in about a day or so. Go to bcit.ca/convocation and you'll be directed from there. Graduates, please return to the gowning area to remove your gowns. And please, everyone, move away from the doors as you exit here to avoid congestion. It's amazing how many people want to sit and shake hands and talk right outside the door. So please keep moving so the other 400 or 500 people behind you can get out. Special thank you to all our volunteers and staff for their efforts today. There's a lot of people behind the scenes here. And lastly, a note to those who just crossed the stage. You've completed this chapter of your journey, as Ian said. Congratulations. We hope that BCIT continues to be a part of your future as an alumni and as you grow and develop in your chosen field. I wish you the very best. So, our processions will now leave the auditorium. First, the platform party, followed by our faculty, and then our graduates. I would ask everyone to stand and remain standing until our graduates have departed. Thank you.
Someday I would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away. I've been on my own for a minute. Is it only me out there? Searching for the place to begin it. Is it me? Is it you? Is it fear?